Alright everybody, it's Drastar here with another Watcher of Realms video. Hope everybody out there is doing super fantastic today, as one of my buddies would used to say. So today we are going to do a damage test on Glacius. I kind of want to compare him to some of the other mages that are in the Northerner faction. So comparing him against Shamir and Nocture. Honestly, I really think because of his slows and everything like that, he's more like a Shamir 2.0. Basically a Shamir that can do some good damage. So we're going to test him out in Guildboss primarily. Maybe get into some other stuff, just depends. Without further ado, we'll look at the gear he's got set up. I got him set up as an Infernal Roar. Basically like 2 attack pieces and 1 crit damage. And what we're going to do is I'll test him out with these gear on, and I'll swap this exact same gear onto Nocture, same gear on Shamir, and we'll see how they compare in Guildboss. I'm thinking that he's probably going to outperform him. Now granted, I don't have him awakened at all, and unfortunately, my Shamir is awakened 3, and Nocture over here is awakened 5. I will caveat this that I have not maxed their skills because I don't have a ridiculous amount of skill crystals to max all their skills, and unfortunately, Glacius Manual Ultimate isn't skilled up at all. So it's not going to be the perfect damage test, but I do think it will give everyone kind of an idea of where he stands and what his potential is. So without further ado, let's get into this. So we're going to fight, play test this. And we'll put Valdron. I don't think he has any equipment on, so we'll just put Ivar in here. And then for this, we're just going to set the ultimates to auto, so that way it's standard across the board, and I'm not going to swap in Laurel or anything like that, just to keep it standard throughout all the runs. So I know there is a little bit of variance on Dolores. Could probably take her out to have more consistent runs, but let's just kind of see where this goes. I really think Glacius is going to be a Shamir 2.0. I honestly really liked Shamir. Unfortunately, his damage is just lacking, but that ultimate control that he does, where if you have him fast enough, he's basically stun locking enemies, and he has that ability to control entire lanes, is extremely useful in certain parts of the game. So I think Glacius is going to bring that to the table and ramp up the damage to really push it, so he becomes way more viable in a lot of content as opposed to just the Northern faction trial, which, like, I like the concept of Shamir. I wish they would buff him, but I guess their answer to a buff on Shamir was introducing a new hero, Glacius. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, damage is already looking pretty good compared to my normal Nightmare team. So normally I would have a Nightmare team instead of the Elder Northerner team in there, but they seem to be outputting a decent amount of damage. It looks like we're actually going to hit 50k blood now. Whether that's because Hex is A5 and has Suture of Caprice and is just a complete fucking beast. Probably need to delete out that curse word, but we'll see. So they're not going to make 50k. It's really close. So if I was cycling Laurel in and out, probably would have hit 50k. No, I do not want to update this. So 37k. That's kind of disappointing, but not absolutely terrible. I mean, once again, he doesn't have his ultimate max. That's another 20% damage on his ultimate, and 100 skill cost. So, alright, so let's test out Shamir real quick. For consistency, I think I'm going to swap out his ultimate exclusive for max out tier of Twilight. And we're just going to put the exact same gear that Glacius had on him. If I can find him. Okay, here we go. So put Hex down. Got it in big. Let's put Shamir down, same as we did before. Alright, so let's take a look. Yeah, Shamir down here, 25k. So already Glacius with no ultimate skill is, you know, up about 37k, so about 12 million more damage. Sorry. So already better. Let's go out and try Nocturne. Put the exact same gear on him. And Nocturne does have his exclusive artifact. Let's swap it out for a tier Twilight just for consistency's purpose. And he is Awakened 5. So, alright, so same placement, same everything. Just with Nocturne in here instead. Set the ultimates. Alright, so let's look at this. A5 Nocturne putting out some damage at 51 million. So I think what I'm going to wind up doing, let's go do this. Let's go swap this gear, skill this dude up, and we'll do another damage test for y'all. Alright, so look, as you can see, max skills, looking at his total stats, we've got almost 18k attack interval down to 1.4 seconds, almost crit capped, close enough to hopefully not matter, and 270 crit damage. So we'll run this one last time. Trying to have everything as consistent as can be. And we'll just let it run. The first run, they were just under 50k blood. The second run, just over. You know, that's probably some variance on Dolores and honestly Elder Shields and whatnot. So we'll see how close they get this time. I'm expecting, you know, him to be in the upper 50 million damage overall since he's been maxed out. So his ultimate's casting faster. He's gaining extra shields when he ultimates. The shields are coming back faster. His regular attack is doing an extra 20% more damage, and his ultimate's doing an extra like 40% more damage. So he should be upwards of 50 million. If he's not, I would be very surprised and honestly a little disappointed. Now, the other thing, his awakenings are pretty bonkers too for Awakening 1 and Awakening 2. So like single target damage, his awakenings are basically going to increase his damage by like an extra 30% for Awakening 1, if I'm not mistaken, and then another 15% damage for Awakening 3, so you're looking at a total of like an extra 45% damage. Now the weird thing is that like the boss can't be frozen, so I'm not certain if his Eye of Winter is actually getting applied. It doesn't look like it is. The slow is being applied. I don't see an icon for Eye of Winter, so that's kind of interesting. Might have to actually damage test him separately to see if it's even proccing. It may not work on bosses. So, and we just hit 50k blood with 15 seconds left, so he's definitely doing more damage. So he finished at 53k blood. So yeah, now he's up to 55k. So from 37 million previously to fully maxed to 55k. So it's an increase in what, 19 million damage. So pretty worthwhile. I mean, and honestly, like, you could probably get away with running a Northern team on Guildboss at this point, but he brings a bunch of other utility that I think is going to be useful elsewhere in the game aside from Guildboss. This is just mostly a damage test for him. Let's just put this down to 1 stack, 1 time speed, and look at his attack. So 66, 90 something, 100 something. So he's getting a double damage here. His damage seems to be okay, so the Eye of Winter thing goes underneath the boss's icon, if you see that. So it does look like it's proccing. But he does so much more damage when he has a shield. Interesting. In conclusion, everyone, I think he basically is like Shamir 2.0. He doubles Shamir damage from what we saw. Fully maxed, and I think his awakenings are going to make him even better. So with enough attack speed, he could probably lock down entire lanes. So I know the Northerner trial is today, but I already used it. Unfortunately, I can't just play through it to show y'all what he can do in there, but all in all, I think he's a pretty solid champ. I don't think he's extremely game-changing. His damage is definitely there. Way more so than... It's probably on par with a Nocturne. Nocturne might actually overtake him a little bit if I fully skilled out Nocturne. But on par with Nocturne, but with way more utility with the freezes and everything like that. So he's a Nocturne with Shamir's crowd control, basically. Pretty good hero. I like him. His aesthetics are awesome. So I'm glad I got to pull him and do a damage test for y'all. Be safe out there, everybody, and like and subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't, leave some comments and let me know how to make these videos better for y'all. Appreciate y'all watching to the end. Thank you.